Hi guys, it is April from Getting a Hygge with It. Today I am going to chat with you about the Reading Rush, which was Booktubeathon, and then they've changed the name to Reading Rush, but it's just a readathon, which is going to be taking place from July 22nd to 28th. Today I am going to chat with you about what I'm planning on reading, and I'm going to give you recommendations for the prompts too. So let's get into it. Something about Booktubeathon now, Reading Rush, that I just love. It's simple. It doesn't feel like there's too much pressure. I used to feel like there was a lot of pressure for me to read 7 books in 7 days. I'm just letting that go. My life is not really allowing me to read 7 books in 7 days anymore. So that said, I get really excited for all of the prompts. And yeah, this year I wanted to also give you recommendations for the prompts in case you are still coming up with your own TBR for the Reading Rush. Prompt number 1 is read a book with purple on the cover. Now, for me, I am planning on reading The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. Now, it does have purple on the cover. This is like a bluish purple, so I'm slightly cheating, I realize. I do have to confess that I'm filming this a little early, and this is going up a little early before the readathon, and I am already reading this. Like I'm not far in, I'm like 35 pages in. So my question to myself really is, will I have finished by the time the readathon starts? I don't know. But my plan of attack was to read The Secret Life of Bees. It actually really works for many of the prompts, so we will see what happens. If I read it in advance, that's okay. I don't want to like stop my reading if I'm enjoying it, so I'll just come up with something different if I end up reading the full thing. But The Secret Life of Bees takes place in South Carolina in 1964, and we follow a young girl named Lily, and her mother has died early in her life, and she really looks to this woman named Rosaline as a mother. Rosaline gets into a fight with the most racist white men in the town, and they go on the run because they're not safe. So far, 35 pages in, it is so beautifully written. I am hooked. I'm sucked in. It's such a summery read. So yes, I am planning on reading this. Now, if you're still looking for books with purple on the cover, I thought I would help you out. I would highly recommend reading The Help by Kathryn Stockett. This was a book that I read several years ago now, and I just freaking loved it. I really did. This takes place in 1962. We follow several characters. One of them is named Skeeter. She has grown up in the South as a white girl, and she's been taken care of by black maids. And she decides that she wants to interview these black maids and find out what their lives are really like in a very racist town. It's Jackson, Mississippi. I think that Kathryn Stockett has only written 1 book so far. I don't know why she hasn't written more, because this was so well loved. So if you're looking for purple on the cover, The Help. For the second prompt, we're supposed to read a book in the same spot the entire time. I know what I'm going to read in the same spot the entire time, and that is going to be The Girl Aquarium by Jen Campbell. This is her book of poetry about body and the female body and our definition of beauty. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I still haven't decided a spot. I'm hoping that I'll get some good weather and be able to read this out on the front porch. I love reading out on the front porch during the summer. So fingers crossed I can do that. So this is what I'm going to read. But I did want to give you a couple of ideas of what you could read all in one sitting. First up is I'm thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. I think I did read this all in one sitting at a hotel, and it is a crazy ride. This is about a woman who is on a car trip basically with her boyfriend, and she's thinking of ending things, but sadly she's in a situation where like they're on the way to meet his parents, and it's kind of an inconvenient time to be thinking of ending a relationship. But this is the most twisty-turny story. Ian Reid is a master at that, and I think that this would be so easy to read in one go. Another book that I think I read all in one go was The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. This follows 2 generations of Chinese women. There are mothers who actually moved from China to San Francisco, and we also meet their daughters who have been raised in San Francisco, and it's about the dynamics between these 2 generations and the misunderstandings that can happen between mothers and daughters. And I really loved this book, so I would highly recommend that. And then this book just stole my heart last year. It gripped it. Maybe it didn't steal it, it just gripped it. And that's Blood Wedding by Pierre Lemaitre. This is about a nanny who keeps forgetting things. Like, she forgets where she's put her keys, where she's parked her car, and she unfortunately wakes up one day to find the little boy that she's been taking care of dead, and she's thinking, oh my goodness, how did this happen? Did I do that? She goes on the run. So twisty-turny. I loved every second of reading this book. So I think that would be so easy to read in one go. It's 250-ish pages, not too long, so much fun. Okay, so the third prompt is read a book that you meant to read last year. Now, I don't know what this would be for you, so I didn't pick anything for you, but I meant to read The Night Visitor last year, and I never did, and I really regretted it. This is another thriller. There seems to be a bit of a theme with thrillers here for me, but yeah, this is a thriller about a woman who has spent the last few months of her life writing a biography, and she is at her book launch party and scanning the audience because she's terrified her former assistant is going to show up, who has all of her secrets. I guess this woman has been walking around with a ton of secrets she does not want to come out, and it's a battle between these women, and I just want to know what the secret is. I want to see this battle play out, so I really want to read this for the reading rush. Okay, so number 4, read an author's first book. For me, again, Secret Life of Bees. Secret Life of Bees really touches upon so many of these prompts, and this is no exception. So I'm going to be reading that. For you, I would highly recommend reading Bird Box by Josh Malerman. When am I not going to talk to you about Bird Box? So creepy. It's a kind of apocalyptic world in which you can't go outside or look outside, because when you see the thing that is outside, you go crazy, you start killing other people, you kill yourself for sure. So people are living inside their homes with the blinds pulled, and we follow a woman who has 2 kids, and she has decided she has to leave her home finally. They're running out of food, and she blindfolds her kids and herself and gets into a boat in their backyard basically, and is going down this river seeking asylum. So good. I loved every second of that one. So I think that was Josh Malerman's first book. I'm almost positive it is. So that would be totally good for that prompt. And then The Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom is just one of my favorite historical fiction books ever, so I would so recommend this. This follows several characters, mainly 2. Lavinia, who moved from Ireland with her family to America. Unfortunately, her family pretty much dies on the journey, so she arrives and a slave owner takes her in, and she lives with the slaves, and she works alongside them. And then we meet Belle, who's the slave owner's daughter. So she has a black mother who was a slave, and then also has this white father who was the slave owner. So terrible situation. And it is about their lives within the kitchen house and up at the big house. And oh my goodness, this read like a soap opera in a lot of ways, because you just thought, like, there was no downtime. It was so plot driven. It had so much going on. The characters were also so well developed. Oh my gosh, I so highly recommend this. Prompt number 5 is read a book with non-human main characters. I am hoping that there will be several non-human main characters in Paul Tremblay's Growing Things. This is a short story collection, so I'm assuming at some point there are going to be some creatures in here that are hardly human. Fingers crossed, but I love Paul Tremblay. I've been meaning to get to reading the entire thing, but I've only read the first story so far, so I really want to get to this for the reading rush. And then I have 2 books that I really want to recommend to you for this prompt. First is Lily and the Octopus. This was my favorite book that I read in 2017. This is about a man named Ted and his dog Lily. She's a Dachshund. He finds out that Lily has cancer, brain cancer, and he's trying to save her. And it is so heartwarming. Yes, it's sad, but it's more heartwarming than anything else. I just loved this book, and Lily is just such a character. She has a spot in my heart forever. Yeah, I'd so recommend this for this prompt. And the other one you could not go wrong with is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. This is about a group of people, human, non-human. You've got everybody in there, and they are on a spaceship and they punch holes in the universe to create shortcuts. And it is so beautifully character driven. I loved this book so much. I've read the sequel to it. I think the 3rd book in the series has come out, and I haven't read that yet. Record of a Spaceborne Few? I haven't read that yet, but I so recommend this. Prompt number 6 is read a book with 5 or more words in the title. Now, I've got 2 that I'm actually currently reading. I don't know whether I'll be finished by the time the reading rush starts. But again, The Secret Life of Bees totally fits within that. I'm also currently reading on audiobook Daisy Jones and the Six, which is really enjoyable on audio. Oh my goodness. I so recommend you read it that way. Daisy Jones and the Six is about a band in the early 70s. Yeah, in the 70s. It's written in interview form, which is very interesting for a novel. I've never read anything like this or quite like this, and I'm totally sucked in. So we'll see if I'm finished or not. But that's another one that could totally fit for this prompt. And I have 2 more for you. I Feel Bad About My Neck by Nora Ephron. This is just humorous. It is essays that Nora Ephron wrote about aging and being a woman, and I just adore her forever and ever and ever. And I thought, it's actually much longer than that. I Feel Bad About My Neck and Other Thoughts on Being a Woman. So this definitely fits the 5-word prompt. And then, of course, we've got another Taylor Jenkins read. Interesting. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I loved this book. It brings you back to the 50s, and we meet Evelyn Hugo trying to get into the Hollywood scene as an actress, and it's about her climbing her way to the top. All of the husbands she marries, all of the people she meets along the way, and I loved it. And the final prompt is read a book and watch the movie adaptation. So again, for me, guess what? The Secret Life of Bees. I don't know whether the adaptation was good or not, but I really want to watch that after I finish the book. And then I've got a couple for you. Both of them are spooky. I've got lots of spooky stuff on this. I loved Gone Girl. The book is fantastic if you haven't read it. And the movie was equally good. Like, I genuinely loved the movie. I was hooked by the movie. So I would really, really recommend this. This is about a couple, and we meet Amy through her diary. And she has gone missing. And everyone has their fingers pointed at Nick, the husband, for her disappearance. And it is about their relationship. And yes, this is domestic thriller, but it's a domestic thriller written by Gillian Flynn. So if you are someone like me who struggles with domestic thrillers, don't worry about it when it comes to Gillian Flynn. She's just fantastic. The other book to movie adaptation that I would recommend is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. This is about a man, I think this is like 19th century or turn of the century, a man who has to go to this enormous mansion. It takes a really long time to get there. It's kind of out of the city or the town, and he's going there because this woman has died and he's taking care of her affairs basically. But he gets there and he's stuck there overnight, and he might not be alone. There might be a ghost. This would actually fit the prompt of like a non-human character, because ghosts are non-human, right? At that point. They were human and now they're not. Anyway, I'd highly recommend that. That is what I'm reading for the reading rush, and then also what I would recommend to you. Let me know in the comments below if you have your whole itinerary planned out for what you're gonna read, or are you still looking? Are you still thinking it through? I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk with you soon. Bye!